Hi, I'm Vicki Stark, and I am the author of Runaway Husbands. And I really am happy to have a chance to talk with you because I'm very passionate about helping other women recover from wife abandonment syndrome. When my husband left, I got to tell you, it really hit me hard. I lost 30 pounds, and for months, I just couldn't eat. I'd sit there with a plate of food in front of me, and I tried to put the food in my mouth, and it had no taste. It was like chewing on cardboard. And then I'd say to myself, Vicki, come on, swallow, because I was just losing weight right and left until I got to the point where I developed anemia, and I was just completely depleted. So believe me, I understand how hard it is when your husband leaves out of the blue. I was there. And that's why I wrote the book, Runaway Husbands, but also I really wanted to tell you that you can recover even from a betrayal of this magnitude. So when I wrote the book, there was really nothing out there. There was nothing written about wife abandonment, and I thought, I was the only crazy one that this had happened to. I thought that there was something wrong with me, that, I was crazy and I was all alone. There really was nothing to read about it. And so that's why it's been so important for me to get the message out. And as part of that, I developed this idea of the 7 steps for moving forward. And that's the 7 tasks sort of that you need to do in order to really truly recover from wife abandonment syndrome. So the first step is to recognize that the chaos won't last forever. So when you're in this state, it feels like it's never going to end. You have that terrible feeling in your body, that terrible pain that we can all remember. And you wake up every day and it's really agonizing. And while you're in the midst of it, it's very hard for you to know that one day you're going to wake up and you're not going to have that pain. And you're going to move beyond this experience, and that it is possible. So the very first step in moving forward is to recognize that this chaos and this pain is not going to last forever, and eventually your life will settle down and you will get a normal life back again. And even if it's hard for you to really feel it, once you start to think that it's possible, it's really the first step towards your recovery. Then the second step is to acknowledge that the marriage is really over. And I know for a lot of people this takes time. Sometimes it takes months, and for some people it takes years, because you keep thinking that, oh, he's got a brain tumor, or he's going to come to his senses. A lot of women ask me, do they wake up and realize and have remorse and come back? And even though he may be giving you zero encouragement and zero reason to believe that he's coming back, and he may even be living with somebody else and moving on in his life, that belief dies hard, that he will be coming back. So the second step for moving forward is for you to, and this might be the hardest of all of them, is for you to accept the fact that the marriage is really over, and that he's not going to wake up, and it's not a brain tumor, and he has moved on, and he will most likely not be coming back. The third step is to integrate the fact that your husband has changed irrevocably and is beyond caring for your welfare. This is so shocking, particularly in cases like mine, where my husband was so loving and so devoted and so there for me, and always wanted to help me and everything. And you wonder, like, how does somebody turn that off? How do they move on and stop caring? It's really, really hard to integrate that fact. So this is an important step, is to be able to see that sometimes people do change, and that a change has taken place with your husband, and that he has different interests now. While he was with you, it was important for him to support you and to be with you and maybe to be involved in the family as well. But now that he's moved on, he's changed. And he's beyond really caring about your welfare and what's going to happen to you. And that is a bitter pill to swallow, but that's a reality. So the fourth step is understanding why he needs to justify his actions any way possible, including attacking you and being aggressive and blaming you. And in part of understanding that It's to know that he has to have a reason for doing this dramatic thing that he's doing. So for him to wake up one day and say, no, marriage is over. She's a wonderful woman and she's been a great wife, but I'm going to move on, makes him look crazy. So he has to sort of build up a whole story, a whole narrative about all of the rotten things that you did, and even if they sound ridiculous, and even if they're like minimal things, he needs to build that narrative so that he can justify his decision to move on, and if not to other people, so that he can justify it at least in his own mind. So there is a reason why he becomes aggressive and turns on you and starts blaming you and putting you down. It's in the service of his own story, his own narrative about why he had to leave because things were so bad. The fifth step in moving forward is to give up trying to get the acknowledgement and the apology you deserve. I know it would make things a little bit better. It would be a cold comfort if he could say to you, show you some remorse and say to you, look, I'm sorry, you didn't deserve this. It was really, I've treated you terribly. And that internal wish to keep, to hoping that he's going to apologize, or that you can let him know how miserable you are, and then he's going to start to feel bad and he'll show remorse. That takes a lot of emotional energy inside of you. And so you sort of have to open your hands and just let it go and give up that wish to get that apology, because really it's most unlikely that you will ever receive it. And by hanging on to it, it holds you back. So the sixth step, and now we're moving towards the future, is to turn your focus from the past to the future. So it's normal when this happens that you're going to be obsessing over and over and over again. Like, how did this happen? What did he say? Where was he when he said he was on that trip? That night he came home late, when I thought this and he denied that. That you're going to go back over and over in an attempt to try to understand what happened in your life, because it's so shocking. But at a certain point, you're going to have to realize that there really are no more answers there in the past. And now you're going to have to turn your focus around towards your own future and what you can do and how you can build your life and how you can work towards a happy life as a single woman. And so that brings us to the seventh point for moving forward, which is to celebrate your new life as a single person. Now, I know celebrate is maybe a strong word because you're not really celebrating. But okay, let's say acknowledge, accept, take on the challenge of your new life as a single woman. Like in all things, there are pluses and minuses. So there must be some pluses in being single, some kind of freedoms, some way you can make decisions and do things that your husband would never have felt comfortable having you do. And for some women, they really use this as an opportunity to do some really new and exciting things. So that's the 7 steps for moving forward. You can move forward. And I hope that if you learned something, or if you have some thoughts about what I've been talking about, you'll leave a comment and let us know what your thoughts are. That's it for today. Bye.